On Wednesday, when Florida State announced the new contract for head coach Mike Norvell, we were all reminded of two things. One, being a college head football coach is unlike any other job in American sports. It's truly one of a kind. And two, and most importantly for the purposes of this video, Florida State really believes in Mike Norvell. The Seminoles administration has now essentially locked him up for the rest of the decade. I put that in air quotes because, well, we all know why I put that in quotes. Contracts are bought out all the time. Coaches bounce for more money or better opportunities, usually both, no matter if they're signed until 2025 or 2027 or 2041. What happened on Wednesday in no way guarantees Norvell will be here at the end of the decade. We all know that. What it did do, and this is important, is it showed the rest of the country that Florida State is playing big boy football again. When Jimbo Fisher left in 2017, pretty sure he still had some years left on his contract, it was heavily intimated that Florida State was cheap, even though Fisher was one of the highest paid coaches in the country when he moseyed on down to College Station to pose with dogs, ride horses, and not win championships. And even though his assistant coaches were top 10 nationally in salary as well, that narrative stuck, not only with people around the country, but also to an extent with the FSU fan base. Here we are in 2023. Florida State is not poor. Norvell is now the 10th highest paid coach in America. The assistants are highly paid. We expect new contracts for several of them at any moment. The Seminoles flooded the football offices with so many analysts and off-the-field staff members that they just had to start making up titles, like General Manager of Personnel and Director of Player Relations. A new football facility is being built. The NIL business certainly appears to be booming, and there are plans for major renovations at Doak as well. So no, FSU is not cheap. But now, more than ever, it's a good time to remind the country and the people in this sport that really matter, looking at you, conference commissioners and TV execs, that Florida State is absolutely 100%, no doubt about it, all in when it comes to football. That's why Wednesday was a good day for the Seminoles. It shows everyone that Florida State not only believes wholeheartedly in its head coach, but that it's doing absolutely everything in its power to get back to the mountaintop again, and then hopefully stay there a while longer this time. Norvell is 15-6 in his last 21 games. He has a top 5 caliber team coming back in 2023, and he certainly appears to be well on his way to building this program back into one that could compete for and win championships. Now, if the Seminoles go out and actually win a championship or two, you can bet everything you own that this new shiny contract will be ripped up and thrown away, and more money and more years will be offered to make sure he's still, quote-unquote, locked up. But I'm not here to lament the utter absurdity of how college football coaches get compensated in the modern world and how one-sided these contracts always are. That's for another time. Maybe when we see the contract details and officially know what those buyout numbers are, but we probably won't even do it then because it's like an old man yelling at a cloud. It doesn't change anything. These contracts will always be ridiculous and always be one-sided. The reality here is pretty simple, though. Florida State believes it has a great coach. That coach hasn't totally proven that he's great, but he's certainly moving in the right direction on that front. He's coming off a 10-win season and a top 10 national ranking. Basically, his whole team is returning to run it back. He killed it once again in the transfer portal. He beat both in-state rivals this past season, won in humiliating fashion, and seems poised to have a better program than each for the foreseeable future. And now he's the highest paid coach in the state. In this era of college football, the price of doing business is high, very high, which is why you need to make sure you're in business with the right guy for as long as possible. That's what Wednesday did for Florida State.